Hello, and welcome back to Love and Hope Can. Today, I want to talk about as we lead into Father's Day on Sunday. I just came up with a topic, and that has always been dear to my heart is that good fathers are so important. Not sure of how many people within my listening voice would agree, but I remember just growing up with both my mother and father in the home and having an opportunity to, develop relationships, good relationships for the most part, um, with my dad, with my mom, but mostly with my dad. And I was kind of scared of my dad because most of our uh, discipline came from our dad. So when we were in trouble, we were in trouble. But for the most part, as for children, we don't understand, but we do understand, especially as we get older. And as a grown woman right now, I appreciate, having my dad and the structure that he and my mom had built for us. And I am one of three, and I'm the baby of the family, well, of my home and growing up. And I just, felt some sort of way. In my description, I just talk about the importance of having my dad in my life and being able to share him with my family, other family members, and friends of being there, whether he was, played the role of an uncle, a dad substitute, or whatever it was. We didn't see it like that. It was just we were all family. When my friends came around, they loved my father, and of course, they loved my mom. But it was something that was special about all of the relationships. But to know that that was something that was positive and know that other people get joy out of it, it really filled my heart. Um, why do I say good fathers are so important? Good fathers, in my opinion, are so important because they help develop the family structure. They help develop children. Um, for me, it was the security, it was the safety, it was the feeling like, okay, you didn't want for anything or you weren't missing anything for the most part for me. Um, I saw my dad go to work every single day that he was scheduled to go work. He didn't take off. I think it was very rare that my dad got sick, and it was probably maybe a half a day or a day that he took off if it wasn't that bad. But he was always present. He was always there, and that made a difference for me. I just remember being in, I think it was fourth grade, fourth or fifth grade, where I had changed schools, and one of the first real fights that I ever had. And I'm just saying this because I was a young, little plus size girl, and I was, called names by this one particular boy on the school bus that lived in the neighborhood. I just remember going home crying. And I remember my mama, was talking to me and I told her what happened. But it was my father that really instilled in me that you don't run and God loves you, we love you, and you are beautiful. Although I heard it from my mother, but it was something hearing it from my father that really, really meant the world to me. And from that day on to the next day when I handled my business, I remember just feeling a whole newness inside of me, like a self-esteem, my self-esteem and confidence. Of course, back then I didn't know what that meant, but I definitely could put my hands on it now. So I think, I was telling my dad the other day, I thank you for that. He said, I don't remember that. I said, I know, Daddy, because you had come home and you had come home late. And the late was he had gotten off work. He got off work at 9 o'clock. And so he was probably at the house probably about maybe 9:30, 9:45 or whatever. And I just remember my mom had me wait up. It was past my bedtime and to tell him about this situation. And then also the protection of my big brother and of course my sister. But it was something about the male figures and making me feel safe as the baby in the family. But none of that to all of that to say, is that good fathers are so important, especially in your little girls' lives, and helping to develop, good relationships. And if your relationship is good with your father, your relationship hopefully will be good with a if you're in, looking into, dealing with men and things like that, and having, certain types of relationships, and with, positive relationships, if I can say that. Um, and yeah, and on the other hand, things may not work out where you have bad relationships or bad situations. But it's just something about fathers. And I thank God for being able to have my father, still have my father with me until this day. And just the bond that, have grown closer. Um, Although, I have my husband, he's my best, 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 best friend of all best friends. But my father is my true best friend when it comes to just the daughter and father relationships and relationship. And I know my sister would say the same. But I'm grateful for that, and I'm thankful for that. And I am not ashamed of not, of having my father. Um, and I thank God over the years that I've had, who are known as my sisters, my additional sisters, my extra sisters that we've grown up with over the years. Um, and they call my dad Papa Daniel, or Mr. Daniel, out of the respect, but also he's like my second father. I get that a lot. And I was really glad. It makes me feel very special to hear and have heard my friends say that to us. And just having, your dad around and teaching you how to do things, really teaching you how to fish and go out, and introduced us to different environments, different cultures, going to the air shows, growing up and going to Washington D.C. so many times to see the all of the White House, all of the everything that Washington D.C. had to offer, taking us to the South and telling us about how the South was, where our families come from, and being able to just have that on family trips and doing these things has really opened me up as a woman to accept, you know, other cultures and not have judgments on them because of the experiences, in my opinion, that I've had, and my experiences that I've had growing up. You know, Yes. Have we dealt with racism? Yes. Have I dealt with it more than 5 times? Yes. But I often will reflect back and see how my dad was able to have workable relationships with people of different cultures, and how they respected my father, how they, leaned on my father in so many ways, whether it was, advice, whether it was just a good word, or helping them through something, helping them solve a problem, mostly maybe in accounting, or mostly in just business affairs. I seen that growing up, and that allowed me to, it left a lasting impression on my life. I know if I had an opportunity to have my sister on with me, and she will maybe say similar. We all grew up in the same house, but we all have had different experiences and different pathways in some ways, but for the most part, of having both our parents available and in our home, I can say really meant a lot to me. Um, and so I am grateful again, like I said, and thankful. Good fathers are important. They are the security. They provide security. They provide the basic structure and functionality in a family. And having a partner to go with that, it only adds to the safety, the confidence, and the things that people deem important in their families. And that's love, that's security, that's bonding, that's relationships, that's dinner time, that's entertainment time, that's being able to sit around and just have great conversations. So as we lead into Father's Day, I just want to say that I am grateful for my father, and I thank God for allowing us to be able to have a father since day one. And I take my hat off to any person, any father that has stepped up in the role of those families who did not have their fathers readily available to them, and those that have stepped up in the way of being a coach, a mentor, a stepdad, a pastor, all of these people who have, had good intentions to help young children grow and to be the best they can. And you have those people coming back in your life telling you, if it was not for you, I would have taken this road this way. Or if it was not for you and your kind words, I would have made the choice to do X, Y, and Z or stay in there. So as Father's Day approaches us, I want to say again, thank you to all those men, all of those who are playing the role or in the role of a provider, of a loving father figure, a mentor, a coach. Thank you so very much. Thank you so, so very much for being there for the children that God has allowed you to influence and be there. And with that said, thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from anyone. If you feel free to leave comments, feel free to push that thumbs up. And as always, and as I end this, I always say peace and blessings. Have a good day. Bye.